Do you know about the Ripple New Europe partner? Is XRP value going to rise or fall? Could Ripple next move to compel the Security and Exchange Commission to admit there was no investment contract on XRP sales? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find out. But first, we are giving away 25 XRP at the end of the month to one random subscriber to start on their XRP journey. All you need to do is to like the video, subscribe and comment your thoughts on XRP in the comment section. Welcome back XRP Army. Let's grow the XRP Lab community by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel to stay updated at all times. Ripple is creating a new partnership with the Lithuanian electronic money firm FINCI in an effort to bolster its reach throughout the European continent. According to recent reports, FINCI has become a member of the Ripple on-demand liquidity network. This provides FINCI with the ability to provide its clients with immediate remittances at a reduced cost. The on-demand liquidity service will be used to adopt RippleNet Global Payment Network Service as the primary focus of the partnership. This service makes use of Ripple native virtual currency to facilitate instantaneous payments across international borders. RippleNet, which now has over 300 financial institutions as members, has now signed a number of financial institutions and money transfer firms that were already in operation. RippleNet uses XRP as a bridge between two currencies with its on-demand liquidity feature. This reduces operating expenses, frees up money, and lets users avoid pre-funding accounts on both sides of a transaction. Ripple is working on a number of blockchain-based solutions that, in comparison to the existing systems, will make it possible for banks to conduct financial transactions across borders more quickly and at a lower cost. The issuer of XRP has lately made great headway in Europe and other parts of the world, despite the fact that its firm is still having trouble in the United States. Mikhail Kuznekov's chief executive of FINCI said that, "We are excited to be working with Ripple to make it easier for FINCI customers to move money around the world. We share the same fundamental goal of removing the hidden inefficiencies affecting international payments. What is more, the savings and operational improvements we will achieve by using Ripple on-demand liquidity will allow us to put money back into the business and enhance our offering to our customers." Will the increased liquidity help Ripple in any way? Cindy Young, a former MasterCard employee and veteran who is now tasked with pushing the growth of the RippleNet network within the institutions of the European Union, commented on the partnership as well. She said that cross-border payments have traditionally been slow, complex, and unreliable. On-demand liquidity is the first enterprise-grade solution to address these cross-border payment problems by tapping into global crypto liquidity, giving our customers a completely new way of doing business to help them grow and scale. We are delighted that FINCI is our latest on-demand liquidity deployment in Europe and are looking forward to soon announcing additional European partners who are preparing for a crypto-enabled future. Ripple European business is entering a higher gear as a result of collaboration with FINCI, which means things are getting better. RippleNet yearly payment volume has more than quadrupled so far this year and is already over $15 billion. Reportedly, 1/4 of Ripple existing clients are headquartered in Europe. Ripple has a presence in London, where it serves as a regional hub, in response to the significant interest shown by European banks in the possibilities presented by blockchain technology. A significant number of financial institutions, including banks and money transmitters, are already included among the Ripple users in Europe. The company claims that the use of its network and the XRP token may reduce the expenses associated with global interbank settlements by up to 60%. What do you think it will do for XRP? Despite the fact that Ripple is still engaged in a drawn-out dispute with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the FINCI arrangement is the most recent in a string of international business partnerships. Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission have both reached a stalemate in their discussions at this time, which explains why this has occurred. The specific disagreement is not mentioned in the letter. However, the court ordered the Securities and Exchange Commission to respond to Ripple interrogatories seeking to establish the authenticity or truthfulness of a document in the fourth quarter of 2021. The court also ordered the Securities and Exchange Commission to respond to Ripple interrogatories concerning Ripple extraterritorial defense and the fair notice defense. The ones that pertain to the fair notice defense are the ones that would have been waived if the judge had granted the Securities and Exchange Commission move to strike the fair notice defense. However, she did not do so. The letter reads that, Defendants intend to file a letter motion to compel, and the parties have agreed to the following proposed schedule and page limits with respect to the motion. Defendant's motion would not exceed 7 pages. The Security and Exchange Commission letter in opposition to defendant's motion would not exceed 7 pages and would be filed within 10 business days of the motion. Defendant's reply in further support of the motion would not exceed 4 pages and would be filed within 7 business days of the Security and Exchange Commission opposition. With respect to page limits, defendants believe that a combined motion of 7 pages or fewer, which is below the 5-page per party limit provided by Section 2C of the Court Individual Practices in Civil Cases, will permit the court to fully consider the factual basis and legal issues raised in the motion and serve the interests of judicial economy and efficiency. The Securities and Exchange Commission is required to submit hundreds of replies to Ripple requests for admission on a variety of fronts. These concerns range from questions regarding whether or not the XRP ledger was fully functional when the transactions took place in 2013 to worries about XRP sales made offshore and the fair notice defense. After the court found that the questions addressed in the interrogatories were pertinent to the litigation, 2 Orlando-based Hogan attorneys named Jeremy and Thien Vu provided some crucial insights into the topic of the petitions for admission towards the end of last year. Ripple came out on top in this battle as the circumstantial evidence presented by the Security and Exchange Commission became more and more apparent. Ripple is going to be forced to claim that the Commission is going to have to prove that Ripple advertised to retail consumers as if there was an investment contract. Either the Security and Exchange Commission has to admit that there is nothing in writing that forms an investment contract and, as a result, admit that the case is circumstantial, or the Commission can go through each and every contract and try to find something in the contract that somehow ties Ripple to people who bought XRP on Coinbase in the previous year. The first option requires the Commission to admit that the case is circumstantial, while the second option requires the Commission to admit that the case is circumstantial. The intuitive assumption of the legal expert is that the Security and Exchange Commission will not pursue that line of inquiry and will instead admit that it is bringing a marketing case. However, in the same way that there are no concrete pieces of evidence in a murder investigation, such as fingerprints or witness statements, there is also no conclusive proof here. Like Jeremy Hogan has said, you can win that case, but it is not the easiest way to win. Will the case go for settlement or will Ripple win the case before that? What do you think? Make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Kindly note that the prices of cryptocurrencies frequently change, so by the time you watch this video, it might have changed to a whole new value. The information provided in this video does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice, and you should not treat any of the content as such. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered financial advice. Do conduct your due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions.